Well, good morning, Las Vegas. This is your host, Monique Buchanan, the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show, also your worldwide realtor. Listen, why do I say that? Because my brokerage, once again, is not only servicing all 50 states, okay? We can help you in 24 countries. Listen, I want to give all of my listeners, my KUMV listeners, a special heartfelt thank you. Why am I thanking you? I'm humbly announcing and telling you with very much gratefulness in my heart that I have made top 3% in the entire brokerage, which is 94,000 agents worldwide. Because of your support, because of all of your guys' love that you've shown me and my team, I have made what's called icon status within my brokerage, which is, once again, 94,000 agents. I am at the top 3% of those agents. So thank you so much, KUMV, for helping me get to this goal of mine of becoming what we call an icon agent. Okay, so thank you, guys. Just want to give you some love and tell you thank you and kind of share that with you guys as my KUMV family. Another thing, I want to say congratulations to some of our KUMV listeners that just closed on their property. Congratulations, Ruben. He just closed on his property. Super excited for him. It was a little bit of a uphill battle, but we made it through. Monique never leaves your side, and so that's what we do. We hold your hand and get you all the way to the finish line. Things happen during a transaction. This is normal. Just make sure you have the right agent beside you that knows how to wiggle, you in and out of these situations that happen with every single transaction. Okay, they always happen. Anthony's amazing. He's one of my top lenders that you guys hear all the time. Like I said before, he's the lender that other lenders go to get answers to those questions, to help navigate those murky waters that they sometimes just don't have an answer to. They'll call me, Monique, can you please patch me through to Anthony and let him, guide me through this so we can get this line for my clients. And of course, Anthony does. That's just who he is. He's got a huge heart. So congratulations to Ruben and also Wesley. Wesley is a veteran of mine. He wants to come on the show, share his experience. He's super excited because let me tell you something. Wesley wanted a property that when we went out and looked at it, it had multiple people that were fighting over this house. And I see why. I mean, these people spared no expense. It was done to the nines. I'm telling you, it had to be the prettiest, nicest property in that whole neighborhood. It had the pool. They thought of everything. They totally remodeled it. It was gorgeous. Here's the point. Me and Anthony tag team that listing agent. That's what we do. We call and tag team. We don't just send over an offer and hope that it gets accepted. We go above and beyond. That's just part of our process. So once again, your girl Mo jumped on the phone. Hey, how are you? This is Monique Buchanan. I have a show on 91.5. Oh, you've heard it. Okay, great. Well, listen, I've got one of my amazing listeners, one of your fellow listeners. He wants to purchase a property that you have right there on ABC Street. I'm telling you guys, Anthony's on the phone with me. Hey, guess what? I'm the lender. You don't have to search me out. I'm already here on the phone with you. I'm going to tell you how I vetted this client. He's ready to rock and roll. We can get him closed in 30 days. If sooner, if your seller needs it to happen sooner, we can do so as well because we've already dotted all our I's and crossed our T's. This is how me and my team do things. We are proactive instead of reactive. So we make sure that we shine and outshine others that are coming for the same house that you want. So what happened? That's exactly what happened. He ended up getting the property. The agent wanted to go with us. You know what I mean? Just recognizing my name because of my listeners and you guys out there, and not patting I humbly say that, not patting myself on the back, but the platform is a platform. It reaches over 100,000 listeners per week. So my name, in many cases, resonates with a lot of realtors, which does help me and my clients out at the end of the day. And not to sound braggy, forgive me if I do, I'm not trying to sound braggy. I'm more so just trying to point out that this is a benefit. You know what I mean? When you're able to say, hey, I'm Monique, you may have heard my show. And sometimes they say, I've actually listened to your show and got a couple tips for my own clients. So that just makes me smile because I'm here to share it with everybody, my helpful tips, everybody. Even if you're not using me, I hope you use me and my team. But if not, at least take the information you get from this show and go out and get yourself some property and start creating wealth through equity. I hope that's okay with you guys. I hope I don't sound braggy today. Forgive me if I do, but I do feel, that some of these things have to be pointed out sometimes. So congratulations, Wesley. He's going to come on the show, tell you himself. I told him that's fine. I'm going to start having some of these clients come on the show. Forgive me, my voice is going out. So that you guys can not just hear it from me, but actually hear it from your fellow listeners, that have used me and my team and, what they think about the process and how things went. Okay, if you're just joining, my name is Monique Buchanan. I am a local Las Vegas realtor here in the Las Vegas Valley in Henderson and all surrounding cities. But also I can help you with any city that you're moving to in the States, as well as 24 countries and worldwide. I can also assist. So that leads me to my next congratulations. Congratulations to the Washington family. The Washington family had me list their property, and we got it sold. Then they said, Monique, we're moving to Houston. I said, okay, well, guess what? I'm going to get you in the hands of my agent out there. Her name is also Monique. She'll take good care of you. They got out to Houston, and they ended up buying a brand new home, you guys, for $319,000. It's a D.R. Horton house. It's 2-story. They are thrilled. So I sold their single-story home that was only about 1,200 square feet out here. And what they did was they took the proceeds, went to Houston, and bought, with my agent, a brand-new D.R. Horton home. She walked them all the way through it, and they're just extremely happy, saying, thank you so much, Monique. And I'm going to ask them to come on as well. That's the Washington family. So I listed their house here in Vegas. We sold it, got them in the hands of Monique down there in Houston, and they're happily in their brand new home today. So congratulations, Washington family. Okay, guys, so I've got a couple things I want to talk to you about. So the reason you've been hearing replays, whenever you hear that, normally I'm traveling because, once again, I do sell properties all over the States. So I was in Seattle a couple weeks ago up there. Congratulations to my new Seattle agent I just brought on board. If you are an agent out there, you're thinking about making a switch of brokerages, or you're not with eXp Realty yet, let me tell you something. I've done the legwork. This is the company to be with. They are agent-owned, basically. So I kind of tell people when, to try to explain it. What is it? It's not Smart and Final. The other, Winco. You know how Winco is agent-owned? Well, my brokerage is also agent-owned. We all own stocks within our brokerage. So, once again, this brokerage is worldwide. It is leading in many of all the brokerages. It's leading. You'll never see signs for it because it's not brick and mortar. So it's all cloud-based, and it's amazing. So what does that do for an agent? It allows you to really up your game because you have 80 classes a week training you on luxury, training you on short sales, training you on probates, making sure that you know how to navigate every area of real estate. And this is all free and included. They want every agent to be the best for their clients. So we have a virtual office in the world that we can go jump into, talk to a broker in New York, talk to a broker in Florida. That's why I'm able to help everybody everywhere I go, because we're spread out. And so anyways, if I'm speaking to agents right now, so my KUMV listeners, please forgive me. I'm talking to my fellow agents or people that are thinking about becoming a real estate agent. Let me mentor you. Let me bring you up under my group with the Welcome Home team. Okay, if you're interested in that, 702-984-3700, 702-984-3700. Once again, if you're interested in listing your property or purchasing a property, my number is 702-984-3700. My YouTube is Welcome Home Show with Monique. You can catch my YouTube channel there. It just has all the previous, shows that you've heard in the past. They're all uploaded there. So if you missed one or wanted to maybe share one with a family member, maybe talking about down payment assistance programs, you can jump on YouTube and go ahead and share it, like, and subscribe. So there it is, guys. And then my website is welcomehomewithmonique.com. All right, guys. So let's jump into what my thoughts were. So as I was out of town, like I said, checked on my brand new agent. Congratulations, Jackie Rath, up there in Seattle. So I've got another agent in Seattle. But I was also looking at a property up there for a client. So they have got some beautiful properties up there by Alki Beach, and they have great, great views. They're within walking distance of the water, the Puget Sound. And, here's the good thing about Seattle. You can do an Airbnb legally there. And this particular investor of mine wanted to do an Airbnb near Alki. And, lo and behold, there's not a lot. So he's going to clean up, as we secure that property for him right there in the Alki Beach area. Now, it got me to thinking, because after I left Seattle, I had to run down to Texas and check on a property there. So my father has a property down there. And, just like a lot of you listening, we all own these properties. In fact, my girlfriend owns a property in Arkansas just like this, where family members owned it. Maybe, you inherited it. You don't live in the South anymore, so nobody's really living in it, and the roof is going bad. The elements are just beating it up. And you're like, what am I going to do with this property? So it dawned on me after talking with my girlfriend about her Arkansas property. I said, hey, why don't you do a HELOC? She owns the property outright. She bought the property years ago for, I think, and this is going to blow your mind. It's a 3,000 square foot home story. Now we're talking about my girlfriend. Her property she bought for $15,000. You heard me right. She bought it for $15,000 in a very small little bitty town in Arkansas. And so all those years she's been paying the taxes on it. Just like my father lives with me now, I'm taking care of him. We're paying the taxes on his property, but nobody's living in it. Elements are, starting to beat it up. The Arkansas house has a hole in the roof, and now things are getting in. And she was thinking about just letting it go, selling it. And I said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Take out a HELOC on the property. Well, what is a HELOC, Monique? It's a loan against the property. But here's the thing. She said, I think I'll just sell it. I said, no, listen. She knows that the property is near the Ozarks. A lot of people like to go out there and go hunting and, fishing, et cetera, in that exact area that she's at. They have to get a hotel room 30 miles away is the nearest town. So I had her look it up on Airbnb and see, hey, is there any Airbnbs anywhere near? There are none. So guess what she's going to do now, guys? She's going to take out a HELOC, which is going to free up. So here's what a HELOC is. It's a loan against your property. Okay. That is what it is. All right. But here's the good news. The property is not producing any income right now. She can take a loan out up to 90% of the value. Okay. So we'll just go off of what, and the good news is they just basically go off of what the taxes say. So I think the taxes said her property was worth like $177,000. So she could take up to 90% of that, which she won't. She's only going to take, I think she said maybe $100,000, maybe a little bit less to fix the property back up. So she's going to go ahead and pay contractors to go in there, fix it completely. I mean, head to toe, and do it the right way. Everything that needs to be done is going to get done. So maybe it costs her $80,000, right? So a HELOC loan is basically like, I'd like to explain it like a credit card, right? You got an $80,000 limit, and a lot of times they'll give that to you for up to 10 years. So you can keep on pulling and paying it off, pulling and paying it off, pulling and paying it off. People use a HELOC as a way to buy multiple properties. So let's just stick to the thing. I'll be all over the place. Let me try to stick to what I'm saying. And if you're just joining me, this is Monique Buchanan. I am your local Las Vegas realtor. You can reach me at 702-984-3700 if you know anybody that wants to buy or list their property, or if you have any questions about what I'm talking about now. So back to the HELOC. You can take it in many cases up to 10 years. Okay, you can take up to 90% of the value of the property. So she only bought that house for $15,000. Doesn't mean it's worth $15,000. It's worth well over that. Okay, it's worth well over that. So now she's going to take out, let's say, $80,000, and she's going to go ahead and have it fixed. Have the contractors get out there, repair the entire house. Right. All right. So now the house is beautiful. She can rent it out, just straight rent. All right, and still make about, I think she said, $1,200 to $1,400 for renting it out, which will more than pay the HELOC loan. Okay, just to give you an idea. HELOC loans, they fluctuate. As the rates go up and down, so does the rate for the HELOC, unless you lock it. So if she's already spent her whole $80,000 and the house is completely, repaired, and she has no plan on re-pulling out any money after she pays it off, and the rates go down to, a good rate, maybe 3%, she can lock it at that 3%. But now all she can do from that point on is pay off the $80,000 that she has and that she owes. Just to give you an idea, at one point, one of my clients had $60,000 out on her HELOC. The rate was around 3%. her payment for the HELOC was $350 a month. Just to give you some idea. When the rates went up to 6%, remember, it's not locked unless you lock it. Her payment then went up to obviously $600 and something, right? So that's what I'm saying. But if you're collecting just straight rent on the property, now the property is making money for you, it's going to pay itself off. It's going to pay itself off in many cases. As long as you know, I can get straight rent of $1,000 after I fix this place up. All right? You run the numbers with Anthony. Anthony says, here's your HELOC. Your payment will be this amount. You know, and this is the highest rate right here, and this give you some idea. Highest rate, it'll be this amount. Now, will your rent cover it? More than likely, 85% of the time, yes, it will cover the payment of the HELOC. Once you pay that HELOC off, now you're just producing all this income for yourself. See, my girlfriend wants to retire her husband. Okay? God bless her. She wants to retire her husband. So she bought a bunch of these little properties, which is very smart. She has about 2 or 3 other ones that are already bringing in around $3,500 a month. So without her husband working right now, they're still going to bring in at least $3,500 a month off of just the rent. Okay? So instead of her selling this one, I said, fix this one up with a HELOC, right? And now this one on straight rent can bring you another $1,200 to $1,400 a month. And it's all, profit once you pay the HELOC off, right? So it's going to pay for itself. So I want to bring that up to you guys because a lot of you are out there and you bought your homes, at 3% and you're sitting on all of this equity. You're sitting on all this cash that's doing absolutely nothing for you. It could be put to work to make more money and more residual income for your family and for yourself. So that's why I'm bringing up the HELOC, guys. So because you do have that equity, you can tap into it. Tap into it. Maybe buy a second property, all right? Maybe buy, like, for instance, I've got some investors in from D.C. right now. I'm going to take them to go look at the Palms place. You guys have heard me talk about the Palms place. Man, I talked about the Palms. That I specialize in high-rises, and my other specialty is probate listings. Okay, those are my 2 things that I really love. I love high-rise, selling high-rises, and probate listings. Those are some of my favorite things. Probate listings, I like to list these properties for my clients because I feel like I'm truly stepping in and helping them in a time they need it. They need guidance. They need somebody they can trust, and there's a lot of hurdles to jump through when it comes to probates. And not every realtor is familiar with dealing with the lawyer, dealing with the courts, and dealing with the probate process. So that's why I chose probates as one of my specialties. So there's that. High rises I love because that's just the bouginess in me. I love high rises. I love all the amenities that they offer. Just to give you some example, even at the Palms place, you have 24-hour valet, security, you have concierge service, you have a gym, of course, movie theater, hot tub, sun decks. Actually, I think, what the other one had movie theater. I don't know if Palm Place does, but the point is you have so much offered to you when you live in these high rises. And what I love about the Palms Place in particular too is they're Airbnb approved condos. So you already have the go ahead, the green light to do Airbnb. You don't have to jump through all the hoops of trying to run an Airbnb and get the licensings and all these things. I'm sure you still have to get licensed, but the condo itself is already approved. Okay. They also have a concierge, or not a concierge. They have an on-site front desk that will run your Airbnb for you. Okay. So if you're not familiar with Vegas and you don't know when to bring up the rates, you don't realize when there's huge conventions in town, or maybe this is just your first time doing Airbnb, you can rely on them to handle everything for you. Maybe make notes, learn it a bit yourself, see what they're doing, and then take it from there, right? Or you can go ahead and just do it yourself if you don't want to, share the proceeds with the front desk. But the point is, Palms Place was 90% filled even during COVID. Even during COVID, Palms Place was 90% filled, and that is one of my favorite properties. So if you're interested in purchasing a Palms Place condo, high-rise, 702-984-3700. Okay, guys, let's talk about a couple that are over there. So what I was saying is that you could take a HELOC loan if you don't already have the funds secured, because when you invest, remember, it is 20% down, okay? You might be able to get away with 15%, but typically you want to just know it's going to be 20% down when you are purchasing any investment, right? So if you know you're retired, you need some extra funds coming in besides your pension, then, this is a good thing to think about, doing a HELOC on the current property you own, and go ahead and buy another property so that property can start making you equity, just like your first house, and residual income coming in, right? Because rents are only going up. Am I right? So here, just to give you an idea, you have a studio over there, okay? And we've got them as low as $279,000, you guys. $279,000. That's down. They've come down a bit. But now that these rates are dropping, since we know who's going to be in the office now, it's not, there's no guessing to it. The rates started dropping as soon as we finally picked somebody to take the office. Thank God that's over, right? But anyways, now that we know we have somebody that's going to fulfill that seat, the rates have dropped. Okay, they're dropping. They're not going to plummet like we all would like, but they have come down quite a bit even since that's happened, since last week. All right, so $279,000, right? And it is on the 16th floor, so great views, right? And like I said, the utilities are included with your HOA, okay? So the HOA for this particular unit is $781. So let me tell you, last time I sold one of these properties a couple years ago, the lady sent me over her rent roll. Even after paying the HOA and after paying all her fees, she was still walking away with about $3,200 in the positive from doing her Airbnb. Now, this was a couple years ago, but that's something that I can request on behalf for you as your realtor. I say, let me see the books. Let me see exactly what you've been bringing in with this property so that we can make an educated decision on if this is going to be a good move for you financially. But my goodness, $279,000, you can use this place, as your own personal Las Vegas high rise. When you want to, if maybe you don't live here, you want to pop into Vegas, you just make sure that that's not booked for the weekend that you and your family want to pop in. And then that way you get to have a Las Vegas high rise as your vacation home, right? I mean, that's awesome. And for under $300,000. Okay, guys, just so you know that these particular high rises that are studios, they're 615 square feet. Okay, they're contemporary style. That's what they typically come as, like a contemporary style condo. They do have a full kitchen, of course, full bathroom, of course. All right, they've got floor to ceiling windows, state of the art kitchen, like I mentioned, stainless steel appliances. In many cases, they're already furnished, fully furnished, you guys. So you're buying this for under $300,000, fully furnished, ready to go. It has a spa, pool, hot tub, even has a sun deck. Okay, and the views, you're within walking distance of the Strip. Okay, you are about a 5-minute Uber ride to the Raiders Stadium, 5-minute Uber ride to T-Mobile Arena. You're about a 8-minute Uber ride to the convention. Imagine the possibilities of owning one of these properties. Not to mention that you are in the same parking lot as the Palms Casino. Okay? So that just gives you some idea of what this can do. Like I said, when you call me and we decide to go down there and check out a couple of these Palms Place properties, I can get the rent roll. I can ask for the rent roll so you can see the books. Mind you, they do have up to 3-bedroom condos. So the ones I'm telling you about right now, these are just the studios to give you an idea that they're just as low as $279. Okay, but they do have 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3 bedrooms right there at the Palms Place. All right, you're within shopping. You've got Starbucks right there across the street, shopping. Here's my point. Many of us are sitting on a couple $100,000 worth of equity. It's nice to say that you have it, but it's even nicer to say that it's working for you. So I'm trying to give you an idea of how to put those dollars to work for you. Many of my listeners are retired and on fixed incomes. Some of those incomes are amazing, great, but you can always make them better, right? So I'm just trying to give you options. And if you're just tuning in, This is Monique Buchanan. I am the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show. I'm also your worldwide realtor. I have moved many of my listeners to Houston, Atlanta, Seattle, California. We can take care of you any place that you're thinking about moving. That way I can at least have my hands on it and kind of know what's going on and know that you're in good hands. I hope that's okay with you guys. So listen, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I want to invite you to take a look at one of my recent listings, 9100 Spoonbill. Okay, this property is over in Centennial Hills. All right, it's going for $410,000, 4-bedroom, and it's a dual master. A dual master, you heard me right. Over in Centennial Hills area, $410,000 is what we are asking. 9100 Spoonbill. And let me know if you would like to go take a look at that property, or if you'd like to list a property. I'm here to help you list as well. You can reach me at 702-984-3700. Until I hear from you guys, have a blessed weekend.